Good morning. And it is the day before session two, or the first week completed of the Master Real Estate Academy production program. So I just wanted to go through and remind you. I'm sure that you are a little overwhelmed this week, but trust me, it does get easier as you start to proceed through the program because, again, it's just rinse and repeat. Each week, you're going to be doing the same thing. So I just wanted to kind of jump on here and show you the weekly tracking, what you're tracking, how you're tracking it, and stuff like that. So this is the day before session two, and so I wanted to just kind of go through the numbers with you. We went through them at session one class, but I said typically nobody really pays any attention to this in the beginning. Why? Because when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Now you've kind of gone through the first week, experienced all the activities and the tracking and the numbers and stuff like that. So essentially, this tracking sheet is in your first session manual notes. And essentially, what you're going to do is use this offline, and then you're going to transpose these numbers and this information online. So this is kind of what your numbers would look like offline. You're kind of filling in week one, which was, it says up here session two, because it's the completion of the first week. And realistically, you would be tracking these numbers as you're walking into session two. So the next slide, this is going to be the link that wherever you're at, you could be watching this video that's above this. You could be watching this video in the Facebook group page. But either way, you have a link that you're going to click on, which is going to take you online, and then you're going to start to fill out these numbers. So looking at each section, so in regards to filling out your first name, your last name, your email address, and then whatever date that you're tracking the numbers. You can do these the day before you walk into session two, or you could do these the morning of you're walking into session two. Either way, you want to have these numbers completed before we start class in session two. So then you're going to look at prospecting activity and listing activity. So how many hours? The goal is to get 5 hours of prospecting done. And then this listing activity and buyer activity, you're just tracking results. So when you look at this, it says listing leads generated. So did you generate any leads of people saying, I want to sell my home? Listing appointments scheduled, meaning that you took this lead and you converted it to go over to the house. It could be a consulting meeting. It could be that you're actually going over to list the home, put a sign in the yard, and put it on the active market. And then listing appointments attended, meaning that you generated a lead, you schedule an appointment, and you actually attended that appointment. Now, these are important numbers because this is a process that follows, because you typically don't go from listing lead to listing sold, right? This is a journey that a listing has. First, you get the lead, then you attend an appointment, maybe multiple appointments for that individual lead. And then you're going to actually schedule it, attend it, and then you're going to get a sign in the yard. You're hopefully going to sell the listing, right? And so then when you look at the buyer activity, you get a buyer lead. Somebody says, I want to sell my home. You schedule an actual coffee appointment or something to meet with them to talk about the process. And then you've attended that appointment. Or it could be that you have already done that and you're now taking them out and looking at homes. Now, generally, what we're looking for with this is it's the first initial appointment with them talking about the buyer process. Okay. And then buyer contracts written. So when you look at buyer contracts written, obviously we're in a market right now that you could be in a multiple offer situation. You could write up a contract, not get it, and then you go to the next one. Now, for me, this is a red flag on how you're writing that contract. And so if you've got one buyer lead that you're in multiple situations with different homes, then there's a conversation we probably need to have. And then buyer contracts accepted, meaning that you wrote a contract and you got it accepted. Okay. Then the next group of numbers is closings, right? So how many buyer closings did you have this week? How many seller closings did you have this week? Again, just tracking that you closed it. It's no longer an escrow. You gave them their their closing gift, and you're moving on to the next one. And then share with how your week went, and then weekly activities. So these are the things that you need to accomplish for the week. Okay, so 5 hours prospecting. You either got it done or you didn't get it done. Okay. Attended 2 coffee appointments. Now this week it's getting your vision board completed. You don't have to attend 2 coffee appointments this week, but you should have been working on in your 5 hours of prospecting, trying to schedule 2 coffee appointments for next week. You sent out your 10 thank you notes. You bought them. You hand wrote them. You put it in an envelope. You hand wrote the outside of the envelope. You put a stamp on it, and it actually went in the mailbox. That means that's been completed. Either you did or you didn't get it done. Either way, these are the activities, right? 15 contacts added. So a new contact added with a name, phone number, email address, mailing address, and you connected with them on social media. Heck, you should have even asked them the magic question. And then made/posted weekly schedule. Okay. Now, here's the thing about a weekly schedule. If you post your schedule um, from, let's say, your first session is on a Thursday and you post it on a Monday from that session. Well, here's the thing, that schedule now becomes a journal. And you really can't look at that schedule and say, all right, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, what did you intentionally try to get done when you're making your schedule on a Monday? Now, either way, just you need to. This is a people are 9 out of 10 agents, people in general, do not live by a schedule. They just kind of live by the seat of their pants. Okay. So this is a good habit to get in. And we'll talk about this again at session 2, um, and go through that. So, and then you just click submit, and then I see the numbers. I get an alert that you've submitted your numbers, and then you get a thumbs up that you got your numbers tracked. Again, that's not negotiable. That has to get done by the beginning of the session. Okay. So if you have any questions, again, I'm always here. You can reach me at 402-680-7000. So we'll talk to you soon, and we'll see you at session 2.